This video is brought to you by Manscaped. Welcome to the 8th episode of this format. I again have a lot of topics for this episode. If you're new and haven't seen the previous episodes, check out the playlist on the channel to get caught up. If you have topic recommendations for this format, please let me know on my Instagram or make a post on my subreddit. Before we start, I made a giveaway in the last episode and the winner already received their money. I asked you guys for your Instagram handles, which caused the algorithm to identify the comments as spam. Consequently, around 500 comments were deleted. To make up for the mistake, I'll again give away $50. To participate this time, you only need to subscribe to the YouTube channel and leave a comment down below. You can write whatever you want. I'll pick a random winner in the next few days. Let's start with the video. Let's start the episode with an update on the Family Guy YouTube channel from last episode. I talked about a YouTube channel which is uploading Family Guy compilation videos to YouTube. While this seemed fairly harmless, the videos included a few suspicious segments. Towards the end of these videos, you could see little children. The clips were taken from a YouTube channel called The Arrow Faction. While it was theorized that the clips were used to avoid copyright, a different YouTuber confirmed that the content from Arrow Faction is under the copyright ID system. The Family Guy YouTube channel also has a Telegram link in its video descriptions for business inquiries, meaning he somehow makes money with stolen content, which also seems somewhat sketchy. After the release of my video, the channel owner made a community post which states the following. The short video at the end of each Family Guy video is my way to avoid copyright. If people don't like it, I'll hide the girls in the next video, so please don't mind that and enjoy the Family Guy videos. As a result, in each subsequent upload, he hit the face of the girl with the GIF emoji, which honestly looks somewhat off. I still do not understand why he refuses to replace the footage of the children with different footage. He could literally take any copyright-free stock footage from Pixabay or something, but instead uses videos of children. There's also an interaction that one of my viewers had with the channel owner on Telegram. I don't have all of the screenshots anymore, but in one of the screenshots, the viewer asked him as to why he uses children in his videos, and he said that it's a secret and that he cannot tell anyone about it. I don't want to speculate too much, but that's all of the information that I was able to gather ever since I dropped the last video. Make of this what you will. This is a very recent case. On a night in September 2021, someone would knock on the door about 3 AM in the morning. The homeowner checked his doorbell camera through an app and saw two guys who were impersonating police officers. Let's have a look.
CPD, open up. We need to ask you a couple questions.
Can I help you?
CPD, we need to ask you a couple questions.
I'm sorry?
CPD, we need to ask you a couple questions. May you please step to the front door, please?
CPD.
Yes, this is CPD. We would like you to step to the door, please.
Can I see a badge?
We would like you to step to the door, please, sir. I don't have to show you my badge, sir.
Okay, give me a second.
Okay.
In the footage, we can see a guy holding a gun and impersonating CPD. He also is aware of the Ring doorbell camera, but thought that he's out of range, which clearly wasn't the case. After the homeowner asked for his badge, he obviously refused. While the homeowner said that he just wants a second, he didn't end up opening the door. Instead, he decided to call the police. The guys obviously realized that something seems off, so they again tried to get the homeowner to open the door. After this last failed attempt, they decide to leave. Before they left, however, one of the suspects took off their mask, which made them easy to identify for the real police. The suspects were later identified as 20-year-old Devane Mitchell and 23-year-old Tracy Murray. Both were asked to appear to court on a 4th-degree misdemeanor charge of impersonating a police officer. The following CCTV footage shows a father in the intensive care unit of a Chennai hospital in India. It shows to what extent families go in pursuit of inheritance money. On the 5th of September 2015, 82-year-old Dr. Rajagopal was getting treatment at his son's hospital. The father's daughter and 2 other sons entered the room as well. The sister asked the nurses to leave the room. What follows is something that would be very hard to prove without any CCTV camera capturing the situation. The son takes out documents that he had hidden in his clothes. The sister and son force and threaten their father to sign the document with his fingerprint. What happens next is even more shocking. After the son concealed the documents in his clothes again, the sister wipes off the ink off her father's thumb with a cotton pad. All of this happened while the father was heavily protesting. Then, the sister removes the IV line, which delivers life-saving medicine through a vein in the neck. The nurses realize that something seems off and begin entering the room to check on the father. The son tried to walk out the room with the signed documents, but was quickly stopped. While other staff enter the room, he managed to still escape the room and was also captured by CCTV camera as he was leaving the hospital. In the room, the father explained what exactly happened. That his own children tried to take his life and forced him to sign documents for inheritance money. Obviously, his children denied every accusation. As his daughter was asked to leave, the disconnected IV line falls to the floor, pretty much exposing what she has been doing so far. A nurse takes notice and reconnects the line, essentially saving the father's life. The daughter and son both realized that this didn't go according to plan, so they decided to run. They were both captured by the CCTV outside of the hospital and were pursued by a nurse. Initially, it was unclear what the children exactly did. Police reviewed the footage and decided that this was an attempted homicide. However, this was not what they were charged for. They only received a warning so far. After 2 months of the incident happening, the father died due to declining health. I checked a few articles to see if there was any other punishment, but to this date, the children were not really charged for anything. Before we proceed, let's quickly talk about today's sponsor, Manscaped. Manscaped hooked me up with a bunch of stuff from their all-in-one performance package 4.0. It includes the premium lawnmower 4.0 body hair trimmer. It's waterproof and skin safe, which reduces nicks and cuts on the most sensitive regions of the body. On top of everything the package offers, you'll also get 2 gifts for free. Go to manscaped.com or use the link down below to get 20% off, plus free international shipping, plus the 2 free gifts when you use the promo code Eudoxia. Back to the video. This one's a bigger rabbit hole and only received a bit of traction in the last few days. Before I start with this segment, I just want to state that the entire following section is purely based on speculations and theories collected by multiple anonymous people. I also share my insight based on what I was able to see on the website. Please do not harass any individual that is being discussed in this video. On the subreddit Internet Mysteries, someone shared the following. Weird YouTube ad called Teen Take. Anyone else seen or heard of this? So about a year ago, I was watching YouTube while doing chores and didn't want to get to the remote to skip an ad, so I let it play. It was this weird old man talking about his new website, Teen Take. It was supposed to be for rating teachers, but it looks so unprofessional and sketchy, and I doubt that's what it's actually for. I just looked it up again, so I'll include a link. Cannot find the YouTube channel he used to have up, where he posted more videos about his website. Did anyone else get this ad and wondered what the heck it was? Just really bizarre, and I feel like it could be a cover-up for something, but who knows. To fully understand why this Reddit user thinks there might be something more going on, we should take a look at the YouTube ad they saw. Well, more specifically, we should take a look at the Teen Take YouTube channels. The videos are mostly the same, so it's sufficient to watch one of them.
Today I want to go through the sports poll or the sports questionnaire on teenertake.com. I'm on the index page of teenertake.com. There is how you spell Teenertake. When I'm on the index page, we're signing in with our email address and password. So we just log in. Here we are on the entry page. Remember, on the entry page you have a link here.
So we have a guy who seems to be in his 50s or 60s explaining how to use his website. In the background we can see people being filmed. This, or a variation of this video, is what people saw as a YouTube ad. While this doesn't seem that fishy or unordinary, your impression might change when you take a look at the thumbnails of his videos. They look like creep shots. We can mostly see teenagers who are wearing short clothes and who are filmed near their school or university. Looking at the locations we see in some of the videos on Google Maps, it becomes apparent that he was filming in the University Boulevard in Tucson, Arizona. And some of the people that can be seen in these videos are students, and some of them definitely underage. There's another channel called Teener Take Topics, which shows way more footage in the background of the videos. Let's have a look.
Recently, President Trump saved about 800 to 1,000 carrier air conditioning jobs from being outsourced to another country. I would like to look at what would have happened had those jobs been outsourced. So let's say he didn't save the jobs of these hardworking individuals. He didn't save their jobs got outsourced. All right, number one, or any company that outsources, the board of directors, the owners, the stockholders elected to reduce the cost of those air conditioners to $1,500. So we save $200 because they're outsourced, saving on labor.
He's basically driving around and filming teenagers. Combined with the somewhat purposefully chosen thumbnails, it gives off a bad impression. But I don't want to jump to conclusions just yet. It's always tempting to form an opinion based on a few things that you see, but this could be very harmless, and the guy might not really understand what he's doing. Well, with the following information, this impression might be inaccurate. His website somewhat shows how calculated he is. He seems to be exactly aware of what he's doing, and he seems to follow a specific goal. Let's talk about the actual website. The website Teener Take states that this website basically functions as a social media site, where you can express yourself freely and communicate with like-minded individuals. Another important aspect is that the website wants you to grade your teachers, high school, university or college, and everything else school related. The main demographic that this website wants to attract are students aged between 13 to 22. While the website layout looks somewhat off with the pictures next to the text, it seems fairly harmless on first glance. After a bit of clicking around, we'll get to this section of the website. This part of the website is extremely elaborate and it's all about data. They are very transparent as to which type of information or data will be collected. They will collect the following information: first and last name, email address, sex, date of birth, current city you live in, hometown, relationship status, about me, whatever you want to say about yourself, profile picture, maybe of yourself, other pictures and picture notes that goes with them, takes, whatever you wish to type in concerning, TV, movies, music, takes on sports, takes on fashion clothes, notes and pictures you may post on the board of a mutual person of interest, private notes and pictures you may send to a mutual person of interest, update notes and pictures you may send to all your mutual persons of interest at one time. And this seems to be only a small part of the data collection. It's odd to collect this much data from teenagers, so how are they gonna use it? Well, towards the end of this website, they shared the following: how Teener Take uses your personally identifiable information. Teener Take will use the information it receives about you to help determine how to best distribute information and suggestions, place ads if we ever get any, and further develop the website. Teener Take will not share the information we have about you with anyone unless one of the following conditions exist. We remove the connection between the information and your identity. You give us your permission. Teener Take gives you notice. To somewhat comfort the user whose data is gonna get harvested, they also share the following: TeenerTake.com does not engage in online activity tracking of its users and other parties on TeenerTake.com, and does not engage in online activity tracking of its users over time and across different websites when a user uses TeenerTake.com. While all of this sounds somewhat professional and realistic, we need to keep in mind that this website is targeted towards teens specifically. A huge amount of their data is getting harvested once they log into the website. The website owner bought ads through Google AdSense, and his ads were running on YouTube videos. He probably earned a larger sum of money through selling data to be able to run the ads in the first place. While you could just argue that this guy is trying to make money through morally questionable reasons, this becomes a bit more shady with the following information. I already talked about the YouTube videos, and I said you could argue that these are mostly harmless. But what about the metadata of these videos? On YouTube, you can add a title, a description, and tags to your video. Looking at the title and descriptions, you won't find anything too interesting. But what about the tags? Well, this is a part where I really felt like my initial suspicions were confirmed. On one of the videos on the TeenerTake YouTube channel, the tags read social, teenager, great teachers, young, girls, guys, teen, TeenerTake, Facebook, sexy, high school, nude, topless, college, chat room. You'll see the same few tags used in pretty much all of his videos. Take these tags, the creep shots used as thumbnails, and the overall creepy footage taken from teenagers who are wearing short clothing, and you'll have a very shady looking YouTube channel. His exact intentions, I have no idea. If he's only trying to harvest data to make money, why use these thumbnails, this footage of teenagers, and these tags? It makes sense to assume that he's selling this data to make money, since he was able to run YouTube ads, but is there more to it? This topic seems to be something that has been going on for a while. 8 months ago, someone created a subreddit called TeenerTake for, quote, investigating the mysterious and creepy website TeenerTake. This subreddit contains posts from people who have mostly stumbled upon this topic through the YouTube ads. Most of them claim that this website is used to harvest data in order to actually traffic people, since the information that the website asks from you is very specific and would make it very easy to identify you if you were to give out your real information. And someone even shared the full docs of the owner of the website on the subreddit, but I won't show it here for obvious reasons. Lastly, someone actually messaged the owner and even got a reply through mail. This back and forth might actually be even more significant than it might appear at first glance. In this mail, they also mention way more stuff that I didn't even mention so far. There's even more explicit stuff on the website that I didn't go into. Let me read out the entire interaction. Hello. A few people have gotten ads on YouTube advertising your website. Just by taking a quick glance at it, they already figured out that there's something more going on. The overall low quality presentation, the fact that some image file names are named stuff like head freckled cutie and hottie in a chair, the fact that it asks questions like which one of your classmates is hotter, the insane amount of personal info you collect from your users, so on and so forth. It just comes off as really weird and creepy, especially coming from a 60-plus-year-old man. Someone made a subreddit dedicated to investigating your suspicious website, and people have made plenty of discoveries. In case you're reading this, I'd appreciate some answers. Then the owner replied with the following. Answers? There were no questions in your email. It was basically what you thought of my website. The website's been up for years. The subreddit thingy, whatever that is years old too. I have about 13 videos on YouTube that explain and demonstrate how to use the website. It's all public and has been for years. Thanks. The owner seems to be fully aware and conscious about what he's doing. He says he's been running this website for 13 years already with the same intentions. Like I said in the beginning, I'm not accusing anyone of doing anything. I just look at the information that is provided and that he himself shared with others. To this date, this topic remains somewhat mysterious and the exact intentions of the owner unknown. The Tucson Police Department in Arizona received a call reporting a man who looked to be impersonating an undercover police officer. The caller stated that he was with a couple of friends and parked his car on the side road when a supposed undercover police officer pulled up next to them. All of them were searched and one even put in handcuffs. The police station verified that this undercover cop was in no way a real police officer. Real police rushed to the scene, but the impersonator quickly drove away once he saw the guys calling the police. He even left one of the guys in handcuffs. A few days later, he was tracked down and arrested. Police said when they arrested the man, they found a lot of gear similar to what an officer would carry, such as a baton, handheld scanner, and a radio earpiece. They also found the unmarked vehicle with red and blue flashing lights installed near the visor of the windshield. After further investigation of his belongings and car, they found a dashcam which recorded numerous incidents of the impersonator pulling over people and searching them. I honestly cannot wrap my head around as to why he would do this. What were his intentions? A sergeant added that it might be possible that the impersonator was approaching people to confiscate their drugs. Regardless, he was charged for impersonating law enforcement and kidnapping. This one was recommended by a viewer named Bruno on Instagram, and he shared a strange rabbit hole that has ties to 4chan. This isn't super creepy or anything, but it is a fairly interesting rabbit hole. The Kemetic Order of Aset is an online group that claims to be descended from an ancient Egyptian cult of vampires. Every now and then a few anons discuss this topic on the paranormal board X. There's one archive 4chan post from X from someone that tried to start a genuine discussion about real-life vampires. First off, if you haven't really looked into this topic and think that it's complete BS, let me tell you that there are actually niches, even in Germany, of people who come together on online boards and forums and identify themselves as vampires. As I recall from my memories, they usually meet up and one individual will usually donate their blood while the other one consumes it. There are a few documentaries about this already, and this phenomenon is nothing new, and the community should have gotten bigger over time. I won't really go much more in depth about the communities and their intentions and beliefs, but if you are interested, you can take a look into this yourself. I mainly want to talk about this specific online group. In the 4chan post, one of the first anons shares a very interesting insight. It reads, "As far as real vampires go, I'm aware of two things. There's an organization that may or may not actually exist, supposedly based on the Isles of Malta and in Portugal. They go by Kemetic Order of the Aset, and whether or not they have any actual abilities, if they exist, they probably think they do, and I wouldn't put it past them to sacrifice some refugee and drink their blood if they got the chance, based on their literature." There was also a thread on here a few months ago, talked about vampires in Latin America, which is probably one of the few places I'd be willing to believe something like a vampire could live and go undetected. Not sure where the archive could be found though. Now, while some parts of their posts are exaggerated, it shows that this group seems somewhat invested in what they believe in. It talks about specific literature that this group uses. On their website, we can see that they have numerous books and even one full version of their main book as a PDF. Their main book is called the Asetian Bible. They share a lot more on their website, such as a manifesto and vampirism. However, a lot of people in the thread called them out for scamming people and making false promises. The problem also is that the main information about this group is created by themselves, so it's incredibly difficult to find info that has not been made by group members. A Twitter account that belongs to their group is called Luis Marcus. This person talks about all kinds of stuff related to vampirism and occultism. This person is also the author of all of the books that can be found on the website. As for other members, there's one YouTube channel called Sarah Angelique. She basically promotes the books in these videos and claims in a video that she isn't affiliated with Aset. Why does she specifically mention this group, and why did she promote their books in other videos? She may just be a member of the group, but not actually an official channel. Other than that, the information on this group is very limited, but I thought it's an interesting concept to show in a video. The dashcam of a police car captured the moment a police officer pulled over a car that had expired plates. 3 people were inside the car. While the police was asking questions, he soon realized that something felt off. For a questioning about an expired plate, they seemed too nervous and anxious. It didn't add up. To add to his suspicion, he would hear a kicking sound and yelling coming from the inside of the trunk of the car. Consequently, the officer would call for backup and forcefully detained every suspect. Upon opening the trunk, they could see a man. The man had a towel around his head and his hands were also tied. After further interrogation, police learned that this man was the owner of the car. He finished his work at a gas station and wanted to drive home, but was attacked by the 3 suspects. He was beaten, tied up, a towel was wrapped around his head, and then he was thrown in the trunk. Before they closed the trunk, they told the victim that, quote, "This isn't personal. We need your car." At the traffic stop, the victim could see red and blue flashing lights through a gap in the trunk and started pounding and kicking the hood, yelling. All of the suspects were arrested and identified. It's unclear what they were going to do with the victim. Also keep in mind that if the plates were not expired, they would have probably gotten away with it. The traffic stop may not have happened in the first place. This one happened only a few months ago on the 13th of December 2021. A disguised man, armed with a handgun, showed up to a Spacial home and was captured by the Ring doorbell. After standing there for over a minute without any response, he leaves a message.
We can't answer the door right now, but if you'd like to leave a message, you can do it now.
Hey, just wondered if you guys saw a lost puppy. He's a pit bull. I believe he came in your yard, but I don't want to look without your permission.
After this, he decides to wait a few more seconds. The man on the other end finally responds.
Hey, you at the wrong house, dog.
Alright.
Sebastian police is still looking for this man to this date. This happened near Etna Street and Scoopman Drive. Nothing else is known about this incident. And that's it with the video. If you have any video suggestions, you can always reach me on my Instagram or just make a post on my subreddit. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, it really helps out, and if you haven't joined the Patreon yet, maybe consider becoming a patron. You'll have instant access to 2 exclusive videos, and you'll get access to more in the future for just $2. Before ending this off, I want to quickly thank the patrons. First off, I want to thank the elite tier patrons, which consist of 44, Clip Artisan, Connor Thanell, Courtney Occult, Krabs Ugen, Dave Birkins, Electrocat, Illy Bueno, Eon Wenkmer, Foster Bradley, I Love the Second Amendment, James Baker, Jamie, Kirsten Patricio, Lord of the Lizards, Madeline Tanner, Mogok C, Rick, NXT Santino Sierra, Shawnee, and Spooky Dosette. Huge thanks to the Legend tier patrons, which consist of Amy Stringfellow, Andrea906, Austin, Bodie, Brian Cave, Brian Ashav, Cameron Mishit, Cassandra, Christopher, Darkner Lowell, Dennis Greasefire, Digital Capybara, Evie Meyer, Jeb, Lier Andromeda, Malia Schönberger, Malcolm Mart, MG, Neil Castle, Riley Bear, and Vladislav Korshevi. Thanks to every other patron in the supporter tier, I really appreciate that. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.